an old line in vaudevilles that says you should never put on the dancing dog right after the stripper. I'm a bit concerned now. What I'd like to talk about tonight, because it's a creative thing, and I'm, as you're about to see, not a creative in the conventional sense. I want to talk about my life. It's extremely privileged, and I'm a bit of a parasite, and I'm hoping to explain why that is the case. And it's privileged not in a monetary sense, sadly, but privileged because I get to work with people and enjoy the journey that they make, and the parasitical part is that I get to be part of that while they do all the work, which is fantastic. So I'll start off, the first couple of slides will introduce me a wee bit, and then we'll move on to it. So this is a trick I learned from Anne and Kate when they started, is relax and say my stuff just now before I'm suddenly on the clock. We'll see how we do.
Stay on that side, Alistair, so that we're not
It's okay. It started for me about 1990. I'm now an all-round sportsman. I used to be involved in sport quite heavily, and World of Sport was my first business. It was great. It made a lot of money and made me think that this business stuff was fantastically easy, so I really quite enjoyed it. I then started probably the worst business in the world. It was called Scott Style. I filled a warehouse with every colour, size, weight and shape of t-shirt you could buy. And just as the business was going out of business, I discovered that 90% of the sales were in black and white t-shirts in size large and extra large. So tip for you. This is another one I started, which was called Activated Carbon Products. Activated carbon is used as a natural water filter. It's like Aero but black. It's used in Tefal filters and things. And we farmed coconuts in the Philippines to produce this in a sort of big Willy Wonka machine, using plasma technology. That's me. The diamond is there. This was when I started helping people. It's fantastic. This is a lad who had been ill for 10 years, been in the dole his entire adult life, and through conversations told me that he was good at sanding floors because he'd helped his uncle. Started diamond floor sanding, and is still trading now. That's the Duke of Westminster. I've never helped him. I'm now trying to remember desperately why I used that slide. No, there was another lad who was doing property stuff, and we called the business Magnate Property Magnate. That was the connection there. The most successful business I've started, I run the enterprise program at the University of Stirling, a company called Global Voices, quite like that picture to do it. There's a Peruvian who met a Lithuanian that he married, that he met on campus. Started that business now, has branches in 6 countries over the world and is turning over millions. This is another example of what we do. I had 2 golf students, we're big in golf at the university, 2 golf students, and they're also studying marketing. So they set up this golf business. There's some really nice work to make it fly, but it didn't work. But he got a great job with a marketing agency producing the brochure that he dished up as his interview. I put that as supposed to be Scotland on a computer. I had a company called allscotland.com, which is a way of letting a geek who was fantastic, and he described himself. He carried a newspaper cutting from the Times newspaper describing him as no ordinary geek, which he delighted in showing everybody. Meanwhile, because I'm not creative, I was driving lorries for years and ended up helping a company that was struggling, and I became a teacher, and I taught lorry driving and bus driving for 6 years, which has come in handy, and you'll hear later on. This is an example of with a student who came in and says, I love music. I says, what do you play? Nothing. What do you sing? I can't sing. She loved music. She went to the Tea in the Park Festival, having set up her wee business, which mushroomed, and she was taken on by the companies at DF Promotions, and she works for them now. They loved her. This girl in the middle here, Michelle Buchanan, local girl, did a marketing degree at Stirling, and her mother worked as a cleaner. And she said, what am I going to do? I'll set up a business to give my mum some work. Now you'll see her cars and her staff all over Stirling and beyond, working very hard. I get into trouble constantly at university for this. This is a girl, Miriam Wolanski, who set up a business called Wolanski Pole Fitness. Everybody thinks that I'm some kind of pimp, but I'm not. And this is also, keep that one quiet, Alasdair. She won the PSYBT Business of the Year. I put that one up there because it fitted the graphic. This was a Mexican doctor. He did his PhD at Stirling and now has a company called El Castillo, Castillo, the Spanish for castle, teaches Spanish in the town. And it's nice to see him working out. I love this story. It was a student who did an economics degree at Stirling. He had dyslexia. The university gave him a computer loaded with stuff. He said, no, I don't want the job that the government's offered me. I'll set up five-a-side football in my incubator. Turned over $500,000 after 2 years. Sold the business, paid off his mortgage at 23, and now works as a stand-up comedian. I've put that one up there because you may want to ask me questions on that one. Baskets which are made by the villagers in the hinterland from Ghana, about 60 miles out of Accra, and that was to fund a student through the university, and fantastic stories of racism. This here, a lad, Stephen Reynolds, who started up a company called Micro Something. It's now called Micro Events, and he does classes all over the schools. He's just a bundle of energy, and it's his energy that feeds everything he does, rather like Paula Morgan in here. We had numerous film companies, because we've got film and media at the university. This was running productions. The two guys, they were from different sides of the street, fell out famously, but they're now back in touch with each other, and they've just won, one of them has won a Scottish BAFTA for his work. So we like that, because he did a lot of good work up there. Meanwhile, everyone's doing these great things. I'm doing concrete driveways, so if anybody wants to have a concrete driveway placed, that's just speak to me afterwards and we'll do that. And we can clean monoblock as well. But this is an example. I'm really interested in social enterprise. The first social enterprise we had was this one, a lad who said, I can get people to stop smoking. And after a few weeks, I've got my first customer. I says, well done, what have you got? I said, have you got someone to stub out their cigarettes? No, he said, I've signed up a council for £40,000 to run a smoking programme. I says, now I get it. Now my last slide is also Creative Stirling. I don't know if you've left that in or not, or if this is the final one, because Creative Stirling is part of the pride I feel when I get involved with this. I've been involved with Creative Stirling from the start. Well, they're all doing their fantastic stuff. I run about in my trailer and do my bits and pieces, which is great fun. But seeing the energy of these people, seeing it all happening, has been a fantastic experience for me. And that's why I say I'm privileged, because I get to see them doing all that stuff, which is quite amazing, the stuff that's done. Joe and the team, it really is remarkable, you know, and I'd just like to thank Joe and everybody else for allowing me to be part of that. And just, I'm also going to mention Vcash at the back of the room there. Vcash is an example of an ex-student at Stirling. Vcash is the boss of a company called UK Telecom, who are supplying telecom solutions all over this country. You're now into France, and you and I will be in London shortly to sign up the Saudi government. So there's amazing things happening from being a student 5 minutes ago to doing all that stuff. So that's a quick whistle stop through some of my stuff. Thank you very much indeed.